Purpose of my life is to free numberless helpings from whom I receive all my past happiness, present, and all the future happiness, realizations, paths, and enlightenment, who are most precious, most kind in my life, and bring enlightenment by myself alone. Numberless brother beings, from whom I receive all my past happiness, present, future happiness, realization of the path and enlightenment. Freedom from all the suffering causes, enlightenment by myself alone. Numberless animals, all the evolved from whom I receive all my past, all the past happiness, present, future happiness, realization, enlightenment, everything. I must freedom from all the suffering causes and freedom from all the suffering causes of enlightened by myself alone, and then numberless human beings from whom I receive all my numberless paths, happiness, present, future happiness, and realizations of the path and enlightenment. Everything. I must freedom from all the suffering causes and bring enlightenment by myself alone. And numberless Sura beings, I receive all my numberless paths, the present and future happiness, including the realizations of the path and enlightenment, who are most precious, most kind in my life. I must freedom from all the suffering causes and bring enlightenment by myself alone. And then give them all the Sura beings, it's a promise of them. I receive all my numberless paths, happiness, present, future happiness, realizations of the path and enlightenment, everything. I must freedom from all the suffering causes and bring enlightenment by myself alone. And numberless intermediate beings, from each of them I receive all my past happiness, present, future happiness, realization, enlightenment, everything. Who are most precious, most kind in my life. I must freedom from all the suffering causes, bring enlightenment by myself alone. Therefore, I must achieve enlightenment thereby need to exercise path, thereby need to purify the defilements. They need karmas, the downfalls, and the quite from beginning to rebirth. One need karma, one complete need karma. Example from such a ten virtuous action, or one can if it's not pure, once it's committed, if it's not purified, then it is ongoing, endless suffering. It causes what? The results, creating result. Similar to the cause, that completed action, need karma, produce for another for suffering result, and that creating results into the cause. The complete one cause produces another for suffering results, so that goes on, no end. So I have to suffer like this in samsara. So, just even for one that I'm not committed for one that karma, and the suffering, I will have to experience the endless suffering of samsara. So the if that one need karma, if that one need karma is not, if I put the effort, it's not great, and then I don't have to experience all this endless suffering which comes from that. So it makes a huge, unbelievable differences. Committed that one need karma, or not committed that one need karma. So there are so many in one day. So collected from birth, collected from beginning to rebirth, and top of that, Prabhupada vow, and Bodhisattva Bodhisattva much more heavier. Then Tantra vow much more heavy, and then heaviest one, and which results heaviest suffering, longest suffering, as well as the heaviest obstacle to actualize path. And there's the karma with the relationship with the virtuous band. So, and if I'm now in those pot or cold hell realms now, nothing I can do except experience suffering. I experience while I'm not while it is unbearable, while I do not like, no trust to experience, no matter how many years. So therefore, without delay even a second, I must purify all this department of this the karma downfalls immediately, without delay even a second. And there are things that can be there that must terrify this Lord and suffering that will be there in any minute. Can be even today in any minute. So must purify it right now. Therefore, I'm going to do prostration by saying to the Buddhas, by practicing the confessing downfall. That which is just even reciting, which purifies so many eons of those different karmas. How I am most unbelievable fortunate having this opportunity again today. For the happiness, this not for the happiness of all, for the happiness, for the benefit, every single and mother sending, the hell beings, hungry ghosts, animals, human beings, suras, asuras, and master beings.
Namo Bhagwan Shri So. Namo Manju Shri, Namo Shri, Namo Uttama Shri So. Om Namo Manju Shri, Namo Shri, Namo Uttama Shri So. Om Namo Manju Shri, Namo Shri, Namo Uttama Shri So. Om Namo Manju Shri, Namo Shri, Namo Namah Shri So. Ganden Lha Gyama Maya Lama Zopa Rinpoche Asana Chasa. Ganden Lha Gyama Maya Lama Zopa Rinpoche Asana Chasa. Ganden Lha Gyama Maya Lama Zopa Rinpoche Asana Chasa. Ganden Lha Gyama Maya Lama Zopa Rinpoche Asana Chasa. Ganden Lha Gyama Maya Lama Zopa Rinpoche Asana Chasa. Ganden Lha Gyama Maya Lama Zopa Rinpoche Asana Chasa. Ganden Lha Gyama Maya Lama Zopa Rinpoche Asana Chasa Lo. Om Namo Bhagavate Rasaya Nanangalaya Arane Samasam Buddha Dayana Om Rana Rana Maharana Rana Vizaya So. Om Namo Bhagavate Rasaya Nanangalaya Arane Samasam Buddha Dayana Om Rana Rana Maharana Rana Vizaya So. Om Namo Bhagavate Rasaya Nanangalaya Arane Samasam Buddha Dayana Om Rana Rana Maharana Rana Vizaya So. Om Namo Bhagavate Rasaya Nanangalaya Arane Samasam Buddha Dayana Om Rana Rana Maharana Rana Vizaya So. Om Namo Bhagavate Rasaya Nanangalaya Arane Samasam Buddha Dayana Om Rana Rana Maharana Rana Vizaya So. Om Namo Bhagavate Rasaya Nanangalaya Arane Samasam Buddha Dayana Om Rana Rana Maharana Rana Vizaya So. Om Namo Bhagavate Rasaya Nanangalaya Arane Samasam Buddha Dayana Om Rana Rana Maharana Rana Vizaya So. Om Namo Bhagavate Rasaya Nanangalaya Arane Samasam Buddha Dayana Om Rana Rana Maharana Rana Vizaya So. I, whose name is throughout all times, take refuge in the Guru, take refuge in the Buddha, take refuge in the Dharma, take refuge in the Sangha. I, throughout all times, take refuge in the Guru, take refuge in the Buddha, take refuge in the Dharma, take refuge in the Sangha. I, throughout all times, take refuge in the Guru, take refuge in the Buddha, take refuge in the Dharma, take refuge in the Sangha. To the founder, Bhagawan, Tathagata Aham, perfectly completed Buddha, glorious conqueror, Shakyamuni Buddha, I prostrate. To the Tathagata, thoroughly destroying with Vajra essence, I prostrate. To the Tathagata, radiant jewel, I prostrate. To the Tathagata, King, Lord of the Nagas, I prostrate. To the Tathagata army of heroes I prostrate. To the Tathagata, the lighted hero, I prostrate. To the Tathagata, jewel fire, I prostrate. To the Tathagata, jewel moonlight, I prostrate. To the Tathagata, meaningful to see, I prostrate. To the Tathagata, jewel moon, I prostrate. To the Tathagata, stainless one, I prostrate. To the Tathagata bestowed with courage, I prostrate. To the Tathagata pure one, I prostrate. To the Tathagata bestowed with purity, I prostrate. To the Tathagata water god, I prostrate. To the Tathagata deity, the water god, I prostrate. To the Tathagata glorious goodness, I prostrate. To the Tathagata glorious sandalwood, I prostrate. To the Tathagata infinite splendor, I prostrate. To the Tathagata glorious light, I prostrate. To the Tathagata sorrowless glory, I prostrate. To the Tathagata sun and non-craving, I prostrate. To the Tathagata glorious flower, I prostrate. To the Tathagata pure light rays, clearly knowing by play, I prostrate. To the Tathagata lotus light rays, clearly knowing by play, I prostrate. To the Tathagata glorious wealth, I prostrate. To the Tathagata glorious mindfulness, I prostrate. To the Tathagata glorious name, widely renowned, I prostrate. To the Tathagata king holding the victory banner of foremost power, I prostrate. To the Tathagata glorious one totally subduing, I prostrate. To the Tathagata utterly victorious in battle, I prostrate. To the Tathagata glorious transcendence through subduing, I prostrate. To the Tathagata glorious manifestations illuminating all, I prostrate. To the Tathagata all subduing jewel lotus, I prostrate. To the Tathagata Arhat, perfectly completed Buddha, king of the Lord of Mountains, firmly seated on jewel and lotus, I prostrate. Seven medicine Buddhas. To Bhagavan, Tathagata, Arhat, perfectly completed Buddha, renowned, glorious King of excellent signs, I prostrate. To Bhagavan, Tathagata, Arhat, perfectly completed Buddha, King of melodious sound, brilliant radiance of skill, adorned with jewels, moon, and lotus, I prostrate. To Bhagavan, Tathagata, Arhat, perfectly completed Buddha, stainless excellent gold, illuminating jewel, who accomplishes all conduct, I prostrate. The Bhagavan, Tathagata, Arhat, perfectly completed Buddha, glorious Supreme One, free from sorrow, I prostrate. To Bhagavan, Tathagata, Arhat, perfectly completed Buddha, melodious ocean of proclaimed Dharma, I prostrate. To Bhagavan, Tathagata, Arhat, perfectly completed Buddha, clearly knowing by the play of supreme wisdom of the notion of Dharma, I prostrate. To Bhagavan, Tathagata, Arhat, perfectly completed Buddha, Medicine Guru, King of lapis lazuli light, I prostrate. Confession prayer. All you 35 Buddhas and others, as many Tathagatas, Arhats, perfectly completed Buddhas, as there are existing, sustaining, and residing in all the worlds of the 10 directions, all you Buddha Bhagawans, please pay attention to me. In this life and in all states of rebirth in which I have circled in samsara throughout beginningless lives, whatever negative actions I've created, made others create, or rejoice in the creation of, whatever possessions of stupas, possessions of sangha, possessions of sangha, the 10 directions, that I have appropriated, made others appropriate, or rejoice in the appropriation of, whichever among the 5 actions of immediate retribution I have done, caused to be done, or rejoice in the doing of, whichever paths, the 10 non-virtuous actions I've engaged in, cause others to engage in, or rejoice in engaging in, whatever I've created being obscured by these karmas, causes me and sentient beings to be born in the hell realms, in the animal realm, and in the preta realm, in irreligious countries, as barbarians, or as long-life gods, with imperfect faculties, holding wrong views, or not being pleased with Buddha's descent. In the presence of the Buddha Bhagawans who are transcendental wisdom, who are eyes, who are witnesses, who are valid, and who see with omniscient consciousness, I am admitting and confessing all these negativities. I will not conceal them nor hide them. From now on in the future I'll abstain and refrain from committing them again. All Buddha Bhagawans, please pay attention to me. In this life and in all other states of rebirth in which I've circled in samsara throughout beginningless lives, whatever roots of virtue I've created by generosity, even as little as giving just one mouthful of food to being born in the animal realm, whatever roots of virtue I've created by guarding morality, whatever roots of virtue I've created by following pure conduct, whatever roots of virtue I've created by fully ripening sentient beings, whatever roots of virtue I've created by generating bodhicitta, and whatever roots of virtue I've created by my unsurpassed transcendental wisdom, all these assembled and gathered combined together, I fully dedicate to the unsurpassed, the unexcelled, that higher than the high, that superior to superior. Thus I completely dedicate to the highest, perfectly complete enlightenment. Just as the previous Buddha Bhagawans are fully dedicated, just as the future Buddha Bhagawans will fully dedicate, and just as the presently abiding Buddha Bhagawans are fully dedicating, like that I too dedicate fully, confess all negativities individually. I rejoice in all the merits. I urge and implore Buddhas to grant my request, and I receive the highest, most sublime, transcendental wisdom. To the conquerors, the best of humans, those who are living in the present time, those who have lived in the past, and those who will likewise come, to all those who have qualities as vast as an infinite ocean, with hands folded, I approach for refuge.
옳지. Who is me, O great Guru Vaishnava, all other Buddhas and Bodhisattvas who abide in the 10 directions, and all the Venerable Sangha, please pay attention to me. I, who am named Sopa, circling exact existence, since beginning of time into the present, overpowered by mental afflictions such as attachment, aversion, and ignorance. By means of body, speech, and mind, they have created the 10 non-virtuous actions. So we purify every single dish that was mentioned here with regretfulness that has been with the mindfulness, with the remembrance of the heavy continual suffering of each of those karmas, and then that they have been created numberless times, time without beginning, from beginning this samsara lifetime by oneself. And then second, making very powerful purification to say do not experience the result of all these unbearable result of all these karma, the sufferings, as well as the obstacles to say to purify the obstacles to realizations for the path to enlightenment for certain things. Which are the defilements in the karma, those are cause. So by looking at each of them, there's by sitting with the emptiness, so that by looking at it empty, that which is empty. So one way, you're looking at each and every karma, the empty from its own side, like throwing a bomb on each of those neat karmas that are purifying, which purifies very powerful, very purifying. Or looking at it in this karma, looking at it, hallucination, because the way is new karma, one think of the it's a need karma appears real need karma in a sense existing from the side. So looking at it hallucination, which is the hallucination. So coming to the same point, it means it's empty. Or other way, me labeled as well to each in the karma, me labeled. So can do whichever way is more effective, can do different way, different times, however, conclusion to so whichever way one say more effective to our mind to see empty, so kind of can use that technique. I've created the 10 virtuous actions. So every time, make sure you think collected just one, correct to just one. How heavy it is, then collect it a number of times from beginning list sometimes, but once. To make sure to remember all that. To have mindfulness of all that. So then have thoughts. Then can have thought purify everything. Which is merely labeled by mind. Have engaged in the 5 uninterrupted karmas. Which are merely labeled by mind. And the 5 nearing and interrupted karmas, which are merely labeled by the mind. I have transgressed the vows of the individual liberations. Which are merely labeled by the mind. So when you think, merely labeled by mind, the idea what you get is that it is not nihilism, total non-existent, but it exists, but it's empty, but it's totally empty from its side. So the point to get into the understanding, the discovering what it should be. So it should lead to this. Should be insight of this. Seeing the very nature of this. Nothing slightest that it exists from its side. Totally. Totally empty. But not non-existent. It's got to go from the middle way view. They transgressed the vows of Bodhisattvas. Which are merely labeled by the mind. Transgressed the samaya or sacred mantras. summary of the secret mantra. Which are merely labeled by the mind. I've been disrespectful to my parents. Which are merely labeled by the mind. I have been disrespectful to my advisor masters. To my abbot. Which are merely labeled by the mind. Have been disrespectful to my to my say the say say the spiritual friends they engaging the actions or behaviors harmonize the perfectness, the enlightenment. Which means abiding in the Vapatamasha, vows. Then similar to Buddhist vows. Then the also there's Tantra vows. Then the particular the Vajra say is same guru say the same say same guru's disciple who have taken Tantra initiations, no? There's a Vajra, so the word. Vajra can. So, say that from the root fall, which that the criticizing Vajra can, so that which comes the third number there. The when we count the way it's arranged is the third heavy one. So so this stage comes so how heavy it is, even that one time, the starting resolves all the obstacles, and that disrespect him, and then having done created that number of times from beginning the shipwreck, and then not throw the atomic bomb on that. Merely labeled by mind, which are merely labeled by the mind. So strong regretfulness arises by thinking commits, especially then numberless times from beginning to burden. When the strong regretfulness rises, they throw the atomic bomb in the emptiness within the merely labeled by mind. All these are merely labeled by mind. To try and get the idea of emptiness, the meaning of that is it's empty. Then I have committed actions harmful to the three jewels. Not just one time, done numberless times from beginning to birth. And three jewels. All these are merely labeled by mind. And avoided the Holy Dharma. This extremely heavy one, not just done one time, in this life, say, if we think well, that's possible, we may have done many times in this life. However, and then numberless times from beginningless rebirth. Which are merely labeled by the mind. Appreciate Sangha. Just one time, which is very heavy second result. But so many times in this life, and done in numberless times from beginning to rebirth. Which are merely labeled by the mind. This is Mr. Nick Karma. Harmed sentient beings. So, not just one time, then they say that almost every day or directly or indirectly harm the sentient beings. From the time, I say, from beginning is rebirth. Big harms to sentient, small harms to sentient beings. So there was like this. When we were animal tigers, so forth, snakes, were born those numberless times, like those animals, then there's no other food to live on except meat and except other sentient beings alive, eating alive. So there are so many. So there are the numberless of so many different types who live on other living alive, other sentient beings. So that then even as human beings, it can be alive. Now, just one. So yeah, follow this. Collected like karma collected from beginning to birth. So all these karmas are merely leveled by mind. And so on. These and many other unvirtuous negative actions I have done have caused others to do. So on the top of that, there's this have caused others to do. Not only ones are engaged, but on top of that, it caused others to engage. And that's just one time, numberless times in that. From beginning to birth, all these need karmas, merely leveled by mind. Happy rejoice. Then on top of that, also there's this happy rejoice in others doing need karma. That's just one time in this life. Not so many times. Many times it happens. And then numberless times it was done from beginning as a rebirth. Also, which is a very heavy suffering result. Or collect the same heavy karma as other person, as other sentient being. Even you don't, even sex, one is not engaged in actual killing or whatever that person did, it's karma. But by rejoicing, you get the same heavy karma as this person did. As actually yourself engaged in that action. As far as in karma, you get the same. Even though one doesn't have the reputation or that one did, but having the choice, you get the same heavy karma. Then from beginning to rebirth, and all these in the karma, semi-level by mind. In the presence of the great Guru Vajradhara, all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas who abide in the two directions and the Venerable Sangha, I admit these entire collections of faults and transgressions that are obstacles to my own higher birth and liberation, and are cause of cyclic existence and miserable larger births. I will not conceal them and accept them as negative. I promise to refrain from doing these actions again in the future. By confessing and acknowledging them, I will attain and abide in the happiness, while by not confessing and acknowledging them, true happiness will not come. So at the any practice of purification, it was more powerful purification at the end. In the practice of purification at the end, to do just circles, further to seal with emptiness. The action of the doer, oneself, and action, and the object, what is done. So, look at empty. In emptiness, there is no I, the creator. There is no action creating. There is no object what is created. The needed karma, what is created. While it's meant of a while everything empty. And direct merits by labeling this and that. While in the state of mindfulness, everything empty. Do not exist from the outside, everything empty. Continuing that awareness, then disconnect. They do 3 times alias, corrected by me, balance. I, mid I, achieves then satisfied bliss enlightenment, and lead all the sentient beings to that enlightenment, and by myself alone. 창조zum 저런 저 마저 와나지 저와냐 봐 매월 공해 공부 매월 소